Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madeline Sklar. How are you doing today? As always, we have so much to discuss. You may have heard that ChatGPT has a brand new browser. It's called Atlas, and boy, are we going to be talking about it today. I've been really looking at all of this and watching demos, and it looks very interesting. So we're going to have a discussion about it. Want to make sure everybody in our community knows, and I can't wait to hear what our panelists think of it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Madeline Sklar. I help content creators, marketers, entrepreneurs, people that are looking to get more done in less time. Because when it comes to social media and AI, we are so overwhelmed. There's too much information out there. We're all overloaded. I'm just trying to make things a little bit easier. And we come here each week just to hang out and chat. I'm going to bring up our panelists for today, and we're going to have a chat about ChatGPT and all this new stuff. Hey, friends, how are y'all today? Oh, muted. There you go. Jim, you're muted.
Great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. What is it just me, or is all this AI stuff just moving at lightning speed where it's like something happens and then a few days, oh, somebody else did this. And then all of a sudden ChatGPT has a browser and, but Perplexity has a browser too. It's like, it's overload. Even I'm overloaded.
It's a lot. And I've been so into like writer universe and doing things just with writers that I haven't kept up. Usually I'm better about it, but it's just been fall is crazy for books. Just let's put it that way.
Okay.
Holidays, it's everything.
Yeah.
A busy time. So I'm glad to be here because I want to learn.
Well, that's what we do. We come here, learn from each other, share, and just walk away with just new insights and just knowing a little bit more than when we first got here. And even for me, I mean, I just uncover things and I just love hearing y'all's thoughts on it. And then I love when y'all come up with things like, something you discovered or something you want to talk about. I just love doing things as a group. I think we just can learn so much more when we're in a group. But yeah, ChatGPT has a browser. Has anybody gotten it yet? Because I haven't downloaded it yet because it's like, I'm such a creature of habit with things. It's like, do I really want to use that? But it looks cool. And when you see some of the stuff that I'm going to play, some of these video clips and demos and stuff, it looks interesting. But if any of y'all gotten it, it's Mac only.
I haven't yet, but because I had just recently downloaded Comet, which is from Perplexity.
Yeah.
And I did test it with StreamYard and SKOOL and also Ecamm interview mode to make sure that it worked for video, because the thing I am seeing about Comet, and maybe it's the same with Atlas, that's why it's like, how many browsers do you need?
Right.
But it keeps away a lot of the garbage. And like I was telling Bez, we had a conversation last week. One of the problems with Chrome, even though we're all used to it, is it brings in so much in the background, it actually can cause you problems with streaming.
Oh, that's good to know.
I've run into that with people before. I had a client, she was using a MacBook Air. We were using StreamYard, and it kept crashing because she was adding other devices. We switched to Brave, worked fine on the same computer. So it's, I think that's been over the years that Chrome has added a lot of things, and maybe some of it's tracking.
Interesting. A lot of back end stuff.
Yeah. So that's where maybe between Common and Atlas, but then of course I just saw something pop up today, right? I don't know if you want to call this breaking news. I guess Reddit's suing Perplexity. And yeah, I don't even know all the details yet. Jeremy Knopf posted something on Facebook. But then I'm still concerned about OpenAI, because we know that they, if you didn't find the little thing, it reminds me of Facebook, you're sharing all your data. So I'm still not sure that I will use Atlas just for that reason alone. Like, are you spying on me by me using this browser? So I don't know. That's my perspective. So I'll probably just stick with Substack.
Right. Yeah, I just Googled to see. It says the headline is Reddit sues Perplexity for allegedly ripping its content to feed AI. Wow. I'm sure we're going to see more lawsuits like that over time. Yeah, You're making such a great point with Chrome, and it's like, I can't even imagine how bloated it is that we don't even know because it's all back end stuff. It's not stuff, we see on the front end. Um, I'm definitely gonna try it. I am on a Mac, and right now it's Mac only. They said they're gonna add Windows and, mobile soon, but it's not yet. So that's gonna, also keep people from using it because not everybody's on a Mac. I was surprised that they went with Mac first. I thought that was interesting.
I wonder if it has to do. I mean, not all Macs, but most Macs now are the M series chips. So I wonder if it has something to do with the processor, and maybe there's a Intel chip problem if it's not a Mac. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, another reason why I like doing this as a group because I learned so much from y'all, especially some of that techie stuff.
It's been my experience though that Mac is all the way now, and for 20 for way back when the Mac was introduced, that it was more secure in beta testing, and so it was the developers would initially launch in that the iOS version first to do all their early beta testing. And that's the way I remember. I thought sure that even on X, when they introduced Grok, it was just for just a couple weeks or something that it was Mac first. But I think it was the security and infrastructure wise, because I don't know, way back, I have to Google it, I guess. And anymore, I don't Google it that much, but I just go to ChatGPT. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it was always in the old days, it was tried on that first, it was more secure. Even back, I remember that back in the 70s when yeah, long time.
Wow.
It's always been that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just when something new, like this is a major thing, a new browser, you want to make sure all the bugs get worked out. And it's like,
Absolutely.
and especially when you're downloading and, yeah. So I mean, the announcement came on Tuesday. Let me go ahead and show y'all. Like, let's go ahead and kind of dive into this. I usually like to wait a little bit of time to because it's not perfect. Like, it's probably buggy. But what happened was it was an announcement from OpenAI. It says meet our new browser, ChatGPT Atlas, available today on Mac OS. So let me play the little video on it. That seems pretty cool to me. It looks like it's very robust.
I don't know if I like it adding stuff to the cart for me though.
Well, but it's not gonna check out. You let it know what you want it to do, and it'll get it all set up. And I did watch a video where it was very buggy. They did a demo of it, and it didn't work very well. But it's not gonna it's incorporating the agent feature. And with the agent feature, it can do all that stuff, but it lets you review it before it actually does a transaction. But yeah, I mean, even with that, I don't think I'm ready for that, even though you still got to review it. Some
Well,
interesting new technology, you know?
well, it makes it easier to tie everything together because I over the last week or two I've been developing a job seeker app, which is really cool. I don't know how to code, and I'm developing an app, what they call vibe coding,
Mhm.
and you have to bring this piece, and that piece together to connect them, right? And I think when you start putting it in the browser, it starts making it a little bit easier to connect. Now, I'm using Claude and then to do that and some other pieces. But now with Perplexity, I'm going to try doing this on different platforms and see
Yeah.
which platform may work best.
Excellent idea. And I always recommend that. Like, try all the things and see what works for you. The Perplexity one might be better. And I
Well,
didn't even realize they had one. Somebody mentioned it in school the other day, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to go check that out too." But I love ChatGPT, and I love how Atlas is incorporate like, I think if you really enjoy using ChatGPT, but Perplexity is great with all the research and Googling type things. So that
yes.
yeah, so wow, it'd be interesting to do, like, a side-by-side comparison to see yeah,
I actually
Lady says
did.
comment.
I don't have a Mac.
Well,
Yeah, you gotta have a Mac to do Atlas,
mhm.
that's the thing.
Speaking of ChatGPT, because I couldn't do that, because I couldn't log in, I didn't want to miss out on what was being said. The first thing I did was jump over to ChatGPT, and I asked it
Yeah.
because on that same day that you actually put your post and asked, I had a friend that's Martin Hunter, he's in Thailand right now, but he reported his findings in launching Chat Atlas for the first time. And he said he loved the concept, and he's a really geeky music producer. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not, but he said that Atlas quickly forgets you're looking at a website and asks for the article you want to summarize, even though you're looking right at it.
Hmm.
And this to me is a showstopper.
Yeah.
And the idea of chatting to Atlas about the page you're looking at is awesome, but at the moment it's through typing, whereas personally I would want a spoken conversation, and it's slow. And so he said, overall, I'll uninstall it. So I put Martin's conversation in there, and I said, one of my geekier friends reported his findings, and then I told, because it knows that I'm meeting with you today, and he said, well, it's great. ChatGPT says it's great to have more early adopter commentary for your discussion with Madeline Sklar and the live streamers. It knew I was coming to be with you today.
Wow, how
And so,
interesting is that?
oh, we've had so many conversations about you guys. It's unreal. And I'm like, because the reason I mentioned your name, I thought, well, I wonder if because I knew you were using it. I knew that Beth was using it. And I thought, I wonder if it's picking up on their conversations and will feed things to me, because that we're living in those times.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not going to say it peaked in on you. We know what their terms are and so forth, but what it's giving me is really cool because it said, it told me this is great. It's smart to have more early adopter commentary for your discussion with Madeline Sklar and the live streamers. Here's a summary of what people are saying about ChatGPT Atlas by OpenAI, including
Wow.
some strengths and weaknesses. If you want me to, I'll share my screen, but it is mind-blowing.
That
And
is so cool.
And it says some weaknesses and useful talking points you can raise. I'll include suggestions on how your friend Martin's feedback and your live stream angle can plug into this. So if you want me to share the screen, I can, but and this was, remember, this is ChatGPT 5 talking to me, and I've used projects, I've given it, my personality and so forth. And the first thing it says is what's being critiqued and where the kinks are. And it gave me all the key pain points that Martin already observed, and then that is useful to bring up is early adopter caution. And it has, you know, from The Verb, from TechCrunch, from Washington Post, all those things, all their feedback. And then it said to me specifics you could relate in your live stream. And here are some talking points you and your fellow streamers might want to cover. The context awareness and summarization. And it gives me what Martin said. And I mean, I don't want to take over the show, but I'm just saying it was just mind blowing. It really was. Went into all the detail regarding the input modality, the performance, the device and platform availability, privacy and memory matters, use case for live streamers and content creators, all for that. And then future roadmap and expectations. And then we heard, I said, and then even gave me, this was cute. It said, here are some sample live stream discussions script snippets. And these are phrases you could use when you're talking with Madeline and your peers.
I love it. That's so awesome. Thank you for telling us about that. I mean, it's a great use of ChatGPT or any of the AI models. I love that. Yeah, I don't really have time to dive into like doing the screen share right now because I got a lot to cover. But thank you for. I think that's just super interesting. So thank you for sharing. And Lady, thank you for letting me know how to pronounce your name. Sorry I didn't get it right the first time. She's over in our SKOOL community. Y'all don't forget, join us at SKOOL. It's where we continue these discussions throughout the week. Go to skool.com/Madeline Sklar. Come hang out with us. I want to show y'all like it was a whole thread with OpenAI. So I wanted to be sure to show a little bit more information on this. So, you know, we watched that video, and it kind of talks about some of the things like this says with the new browser, you can see the page you're on and answer your questions right there via the Ask ChatGPT sidebar. I love that little sidebar there that you can do that. That seems really cool. It can offer suggestions wherever you're typing on the web. That sounds really cool. I'm going to definitely try this. I just haven't done it yet. You can ask it to open, close, reopen, bookmark, or revisit any of your tabs. I love the whole memory thing and how it was saying in that video, you can pick up where you left off and it can remember things, which I think that'll be helpful to me. I'm sure it'd be helpful for some of y'all. That agent feature, like we saw in the video, I haven't even really played with the whole agent thing in ChatGPT yet, but you do have to be on one of the paid accounts to use that part. You got to be on a Plus, Pro, or Business account. But I'm with you, Jim. I just don't know if I just trust it to even though it's supposed to not actually do the transaction until you review it. I don't know. It seems interesting though. So I don't know. I mean, does this make you all want to jump on this and try it and try the Perplexity one and, you know, play around with this? Or are you just like, I'm happy with my Chrome or happy with my whatever browser?
Well, what's interesting, you know, and I just got an article, a LinkedIn article from David Meerman Scott, where he says he's using Atlas. And this is something I know Rachel, I think, has been talking about on her Substack. But this is also disrupting search. Because now if people are going to other browsers that are not tied in with Google, are you going to get found? How are you going to get found? Are you going to try to align your content to get picked up by, you know, ChatGPT or by Claude or by Perplexity? I'd love to hear Rachel's thoughts on it, especially with like book marketing and things like that.
Sure. I don't know. That's the answer. Unfortunately, things are changing so fast, right? That's what you were saying. Even a week ago, we wouldn't have been having this conversation. So all I know really is in talking to people who work on the back end of websites, admin and things like that. I don't do any of that stuff, but they're doing the back end differently so that AI will pick it up in addition to search engines. So that's all sort of evolving. So I don't really know how let's say, you know, for me, my audience is authors. How can I make you be found by all the different AI engines? It's all being worked out and mapped out. I don't know.
And
don't
you
know.
think, I mean, if you think about, we've always said what, like YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google.
Not
Well,
anymore.
are these platforms YouTube friendly, or they're not going to pull up those YouTube videos because it's a Google product?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all about behavior. So this is changing people's behavior. So they're in AI and they ask it something. So now it's searching. So now that's taken away from the major search engines. So there you're going to see a shift. But like Rachel said, you have to people who do SEO, they're also doing this where they're AI SEO friendly. And but I'll tell you this, I did an article once, I think I've said this a couple of times here on LinkedIn about I was playing around back then with Google Notebook LM when it was experimental, and I did like a next gen bio, and I showed up in someone's results when they were saying, how can I improve my bio on my LinkedIn profile? And I was like the third result. This was in the early days. And I was like, I don't know how I did that, but it scraped LinkedIn, and I came up as the third cited reference on my friend's search. And she even showed me a screenshot. I was like, oh well, that's pretty cool or scary.
Wow. Right. Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow. Well, I'm gonna play because I saw just so many different videos from like AI experts kind of doing an overview and showing a little bit of a demo of it. And I'm gonna have the links to all these videos. It'll be in my YouTube for those watching on YouTube. If you're watching, we're all over the place. We're on YouTube, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you're watching elsewhere, be sure to go to my Madeline Sklar YouTube, and later I'll put in the description all the videos. But also go to SKOOL because I will also have it in there too. I will have because some of these videos are too long. We're not going to play them all. I'm just going to play some snippets. But this first one I want to play is a popular AI techie YouTuber named Matt Wolf. And I'm going to play some of this just a little bit of an overview, and then he does some demos. So let's watch this.
Did ChatGPT just kill Google Chrome? OpenAI just dropped something huge, a brand new AI-powered web browser called ChatGPT Atlas. And if what they showed today actually works, it could completely change how we use the internet. In their live stream this morning, Sam Altman and the OpenAI team basically said,
tabs were great, but we haven't seen a lot of browser innovation since then.
And now they're claiming Atlas is that next big leap, a browser built entirely around ChatGPT that can literally browse, click, type, and do tasks for you autonomously. It can summarize web pages, edit your emails right in Gmail, remember what you've looked at across the web, and even take action for you using their agent mode. Meaning ChatGPT can literally move your mouse, type on your keyboard, and perform online tasks for you. And this isn't just ChatGPT in the sidebar either. It's actually ChatGPT running the browser itself. Now, this all sounds amazing on paper, but things like this never quite live up to the hype on day one. So in this video, I'm gonna break down everything that OpenAI announced. We're gonna test Atlas ourselves, see how it actually performs, and then I'll share my honest first impressions. So by the end of this
All right, so I'm going to skip ahead to this next part, but I definitely recommend this video for those that want to see more about this. It's like a 29-minute video. I watched the whole thing. It's really good.
Atlas. Again, the whole thing is powered by ChatGPT. So if I open up a new tab here, you can see it directly opens me up into a ChatGPT window where I can chat. Similar to being logged into ChatGPT itself, we can select our models up here in the top left. You'll have access to whatever models your plan gives you access to. And our URL bar here is actually also doubling as a ChatGPT bar. So I can give it a URL, like if I say go to futuretools.io, it will go to the website just like you would expect it to. However, if I was to ask it a question, like how many R's are in the word strawberry, well, it will open up the response inside of a ChatGPT window, and luckily it got it right. This box also replaces search for you. So let's say I want to search best taco shops in San Diego. You can see it doesn't use Google. It's got its own search, and it's using AI to recommend great taco shops in San Diego. But it also added these tabs across the top, similar to if you were using a Google search. So we have our home, which is the AI response that it gave us with its answers. But then we also have more typical web search results like you'd see in Google if I click on the little search tab up here. We've also got image results, very similar to if you were to search Google and click on the images tab. We've got video results, also very similar to if you were to click on the video results in Google. And we have news results. Again, kind of the same types of tabs you would have if you had just done a Google search. And this search can be kicked off by typing it right up here in your URL bar, or by opening a new tab and typing it into the ChatGPT bar. You can also use tools with ChatGPT.
So what do y'all think of this? I mean, it's like you're in Google, but you're in ChatGPT.
Well, I thought the search part, especially, so I'm thinking about the taco shop example. So I couldn't tell, I'll have to go watch the video, but part of me thought that the top result was Yelp, which bothers me. And I know there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time. I'm one of the Google local guides where, like, if you put a lot of reviews out, photos and stuff, your stuff gets seen when people are looking at that. You can correct things. So now it's like, do you have to go out and start building reviews somewhere else so it gets pulled into that? Or is it kind of scraping from Google? Because I did see one of those pages was a bunch of YouTube videos. So it is still kind of playing with Google, but maybe that's because right now that's where most of that content is.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see how that evolves. But I mean, is this going to kill traditional SEO as we know it? What about people that rely on Google ads? I mean, people need to pivot if you're relying on Google.
I think Google will figure it out. They're not going to, I mean, if you look at the AI Studio and what they've got going on, they're doing a lot of integration with their stuff. So they've got years and light years ahead of many people. So I think it's just pushing them to evolve and be better. I mean, that's better for all of us here, right? The consumer wins, right? Because when there's somebody out there pushing the envelope, then they got to iterate and get better, or they get left behind. And Google's not going to get left behind. Come on now.
Well, and Bez brings up a good point, and Bez mentioned this earlier when we talk about human behavior. How many of our friends and family aren't even using AI or afraid of AI? I mean, how many people are like not willing to leave Facebook, let alone change their browser to something else? So I think it's like, because we're in that circle of people that kind of geek out about this stuff, we'll try it. But when you tell somebody like, hey, have you tried this? They'll be like, they'll think you have three eyes, one in your forehead. Like, what are you talking about? And so it's going to definitely be an education process. I mean, as a veteran, I deal in some of the communities I'm involved with. I deal with a lot of older folks that are very tech averse. So I don't see them trusting. I'm not talking to some machine and it's going to tell me what to do. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I always forget. Like, I'm always
tell them their generation invented.
There you go. But yeah,
no, go ahead. Sorry.
A lot of us are early adopters, and we don't. I just don't always think about that. It's like, this is new. It's cool. Let me play with it. And I just don't think about how most people are like maybe just now getting their feet wet with AI.
I gotta say, I'm the oldest one in this group. We all know that.
But you're a unicorn, Barb.
No, Jim, her generation invented the internet. So just tell them, hey,
no, that was Al Gore. It was Al Gore.
No, he's too young.
No. But I know, and you all know that I also do a live every week just before this one of Udemy students, 26,000 of them around the world, and they're mainly younger people. And if this is the time of year when all this stuff, every year since I've been online, you get right after, because we're going into the holiday season, and high tech, everything is tied to the stock market, to the money markets around the world. And so they had to announce something because the stockholders are going to be really happy about the announcement. But then again, and then there are those of us that are the early adopters, we want to play with, see what it's all about. And so we're helping them to build their products. They're not paying us for that, but we're giving them the feedback that's creating all of the static across the internet. Oh, wait a minute, I know how to do it better, blah, blah, blah. Gets them new employees and so forth. And so, you know, that this is the first time when you announced it and it came and you said it was on Apple only. That's why I turned to ChatGPT. I thought, well, now everybody's been talking in the news about how you're going one way or the other on the, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And yes, it is the only place where I talk politics, and I talk politics to ChatGPT. But I'm a Libra, which is I balance the scales, got to be right in the middle. You know, if one thing is this and the other thing's got to be that, and it is hilarious how that all comes out. But I got to tell you, turning to ChatGPT, and I actually talked to it about, I said, you know how old I am. That was another conversation I had. And I got to tell you, I was blown away how it perceived me because of all the stuff I was put in. And then I said, but, you know, chronologically, I don't have that many years left. And it basically, and it's like, what was it? Was it Tim McGraw that said live like you were dying or something? I just go. But I'm excited about it. But what I loved was being able to get to ChatGPT and OpenAI and ChatGPT. And I'm thinking, my whole life has been about Google when everything turned around. I mean, Madeline, it was Alta Vista, Yahoo, all that stuff. We were there.
Ask
But when
Jeeves.
we got right.
A bunch of
Oh
them.
gosh, yes, that one too. And it's like, so we went through all that, but when we got Google, things smoothed out. It really did. And I use Google not just every hour, probably every 15 minutes or so, because it was like, I wonder what this says. You know, I wonder what Google says. And then it got to, well, you got to pay for ads on Google if you want things to show up. And of course, what you research and show up has to do with the people paying the advertising. So then that balance went away. We were getting what the ads had. So now we get to this end and we're saying, okay, they want to put it in AI. And I don't know if you guys know me, Mayanna Stevenson. I met her back during the Blab IM days, but she has a blog. I still put my websites out in WordPress, and WordPress just had its big meeting, you know, and it's how they're going to be doing that going forward. And she was brilliant, but she actually has how these are impacting the SEO of the future that she's working on in the AI space, and is really, really good. And so my feeling is don't feel guilty about pressing the button and beta testing things, but look at what you are about and your audience that you have. You know, I'm attracted to you folks because you're brainiacs. I mean, you may not want to admit it, but you're very brainy people. And that's what, and according to ChatGPT, that's a good thing. Madeline and her people are so cool. You cannot believe I talked to her about Bez. One of these days, we're going to have this party. Well, he's in the people search business, you know, helping folks to find the right career. And what just happened this week was for the young people, they're laying off all the young people, the AI people. They're laying them off. And so the older people are the ones getting the jobs. Did that not blow you away? You can Google, well, I always say
you can Google
it.
Start saying you can
ChatGPT
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that is the one thing as a communicator, online communicator, I said, I love saying, oh, just Google it. Google this, Google that. And Google got upset because, you know, there was a trademark name and so forth, but not search this, but Google it. So
It just became part of our natural vocabulary.
Exactly.
And I don't think Google minded that because the fact that the way we use it described, just like instead of a tissue, it's a Kleenex, instead of a copier, it's a Xerox.
Right.
You know, there are brands that that became the thing, which helped the
Right.
brands, you know. So yeah, Google it, but you know, tides are turning. Tides are turning, and that's why
Exactly.
we come here and stay informed of all these things. And I catch myself using AI more and more for search and not always jumping to Google. But I have to admit, in the Chrome browser, it makes it so easy to go in the search bar and just type in my question, and it's giving me the Google response. Like I mean, I don't know about y'all, but you know, gazillion years ago, it was you had to go to google.com. But then eventually when they embedded it in the browser, in the Chrome browser, you just type in the search bar at the, you know, in the URL bar at the top. You don't have to leave the page and go open up a new tab specifically for google.com. And that was a big game changer. It was a long time ago. I don't remember when they started that. But many times I'm in ChatGPT already, and it's like, you know what? Let me start a new chat and ask this question that I just thought of, instead of typing it in the Chrome toolbar at the top, the URL bar. And then how is that? And see, that's good. Okay. So it gave me a thought. I'm definitely going to download and play with the new ChatGPT Atlas browser. But many times I'm used to going in the URL bar in my Chrome and doing a search for something. And if I'm in a different browser now, it's going to be ChatGPT always giving me all the answers.
Well, you might be changing your behavior. And
I
so,
I
you
already
know,
am slowly, but it'll be drastic. If I like the browser enough where I'm using it all the time, that would be because you have to admit, when you're in Chrome, it's just easy. Like, oh, I got a quick question. Let me just put it in the URL. I mean, is that just me? Do y'all do that too? Because I've been doing that forever. It's like, let me just put it in at the top here and type it in.
okay, while we're on this subject, I want to share something about what Barbara said, what you're saying, Madeline, behavior plus, you know, jobs. There's research out there. I think Yale, Harvard, Stanford, and a few of some of these top tier did a study about, you know, because people fear that AI is replacing their jobs. The data doesn't support that right now. Now, they said there was a lot of automation and changing already happening before OpenAI came on the scene, right? So there was things happening already. You know, things were getting automated and things, you know, that's just the way life evolves. And so AI had the data doesn't support. Now, they do at the end of the study say, does that mean that might change, this study might change later, and we do find that, yeah, that's the probability that could happen. But right now the data doesn't support that AI is taking away jobs. There's already a shift going in automation stuff that happened before, and until that time, I don't think we need to be afraid of it. I think we need to, just like anything, ask good questions, like anything from ethics to learning it and all that. And let's you know, because everybody here on stage, they're a master in at least one domain. And when you're a master in a domain, then you command an AI, because the way you ask questions is different than every one of us here. So I think it's a wonderful time to be alive.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, totally. And guess what, you guys? When I was in that live this morning, I got a notification from Meta AI, and it said, what you should know: on December 16th, 2025, we're making changes to our privacy policy. We're personalizing your experiences using your interactions with AIs to personalize your experiences and ads. What this means:
Wow.
personalizing your experiences includes suggesting content like posts that you may find interesting and reels to watch. It also includes showing ads that are more relevant to you. So that's how it's trying to sell it to us old people. Well, maybe you all got it too, but I got it.
I didn't see that. So they're
And
so
I'm going,
basically they're normally the algorithm's doing all that, so they're incorporating AI into the algorithm. So it's
Exactly.
more of a, that's interesting. Larry says there may be more jobs needed to support the world of AI
Right.
in back end. That's a great point, Larry. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. But that's an excellent point. Well, I think there's been a lot of hype and drama about people losing jobs, blah, blah, blah. And I agree with what y'all were saying. I think that that's not the case, at least not yet. And it's why now's a good time to learn as much as you can about AI, because you'll be so much further ahead than most people, and you can capitalize
But
on
I
that.
think the job losses are really hard to quantify, because I know, as an example, Rivian just laid off 600 people. I don't know what their area of expertise is, but they're one of those electrical car companies.
Mhm.
Is that because of sales? I know there's been, is some of this, related to fiscal
Cre-
policies?
Yeah, credit has been rolled back on EV, so they're going to take a hit right now.
Yeah. And then I've seen some articles too that because of the like the SNAP stuff, it's having a major impact on like small grocery chains. A friend of mine is where he grew up, which I think is a rural Georgia town. The local grocery store is going to have to close down because they just can't keep up with what's happening with prices. So I think that's not necessarily AI related, but I do think it still goes back to we have to be lifelong learners and up level our skills because things change. I mean, you guys remember Kodak, you remember Blockbuster, those companies are gone. I think personally, and this is something I have tried to make my adult children aware of, that the days of going to work for a corporation and getting the gold watch are gone. You are going to
Oh,
change jobs
absolutely.
Yeah.
multiple times. So you got to develop skills that allow you to shift to as things change.
100%. I'll tell you that. When people start thinking about, oh, I think I can just hang out here and retire here, those are dangerous ways of thinking,
Yeah.
because they will cut you if the business needs to cut you. And when you die, they will post your position the next day. So don't get too personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, and to your point on lifelong learning, my mom's 88 and she's still learning. And you know what? You should see all the offers from headhunters she has. She's retired at the age of
Right.
82, and she's been working consulting part-time, making more money than when she was working full-time. And she can only work part-time here in the state of Georgia because she's retired. And she's 88. So
Yeah.
do you think my mom, okay, she started with shorthand. Now, a lot of people think, that
Me
might be a
too.
shorthand, but no,
So my wife does every day.
Yeah,
she
I
does.
can write in shorthand still.
You
But she
can?
was,
I
she's a
remember my
court,
mom used to do that.
yeah, my wife's a court reporter, so she does that every day.
Yeah.
I remember the steno
I
pad and
Yep.
writing shorthand. I
Quarter
remember my
horse.
mom doing that. Wow, that takes me back.
Yeah, for sure.
That's past
I
the
love
80s.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a long time ago. Long,
But
long
you
time
know, it
ago.
comes down to, since you brought that up, Biz, I mean, I started out typing. We all typed with it before the electronics came, and then that's how I got in with IBM. Actually, was because I love to break things apart and see what makes them work and all of that. And they asked me if I would beta test their mag card typewriters. Do you remember that? The electronic typewriters.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it went. They brought me the first PC. It's like, well, she's got to have that transition, and it's so easy to do. And to this day, the people that know how to type on typewriters have an advantage over those who don't, because they
100%.
right.
I took typing in 8th grade, and it was the smartest thing I ever did.
Right.
I'm typing class, electric typewriters. I remember that, and it definitely gave me the skills to type fast.
Exactly.
But because of WhisperFlow, that tool I've showed y'all here multiple times,
Yeah, right.
I don't have to type so much, and it's faster than typing, and I just press my
Right.
little button and just talk, and then it utilizes AI to fix my mistakes and just make it look and sound better. And I y'all, to show y'all how I use that 24/7 on my phone and then on my computer. Yesterday, it wasn't working on my phone, on my iPhone. And and so I contacted the company. I said, look, it even says I'm like top 1% or something of users. I use it constantly because it's so much easier than typing. For anybody tuning in, you're like, what is Madeline talking about? It's called WhisperFlow, and it's a great tool. They have a free version that you can, Jim, why are you on here twice?
I'll tell you in a second.
Do you want me to add the other you? What did it just do? That was weird. And we don't hear you though. Let me put you back.
That's okay. He was talking too much, Madeline.
Now we got 2 of you.
Just joking.
That was weird.
So one is on Atlas.
Oh, okay. So when I added you on the second one, we saw you perfectly, but we couldn't hear you. So I removed it. Do you have to adjust the audio when you do that?
That's what it is.
Okay. That's what I figured.
So if you can hear me, remove that one.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to bring up the other ones. So that should be, yeah, just switch your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
So you're in Atlas.
In Atlas on StreamYard.
Wow. So you didn't have to do anything special?
I had to give it permission. I had to give it the permissions in the browser, just like you would normally. But yes, I just removed myself from Chrome. So I'm now here in Atlas.
That is so cool. And so you don't see, have you live streamed in StreamYard on it? Did you say you did try that or not yet?
I'm doing it right now because I'm in your show on Atlas.
But this is the first one, like you haven't, like, I mean, you hosting one and just doing the whole show.
Right.
Because I'd be curious to know, since I do a lot of live streaming, I'd want to make sure it's stable and works okay. And StreamYard always recommends Chrome. I know they do the other browsers, but it used to be like years ago, they really stress Chrome only.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they do all the browsers.
Well, they recently even added, I guess, support for Safari, but it is limited as far as like maybe not all the features work in Safari. But, like I said, to me, experimenting with these different browsers with things like this, because when you look at them, they all look a lot like Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you think, are they using, I guess, what is it called? Chromium kind of coding. So if this is actually too lighter for you on your system, this could be better. Right. I've got the little thing I can see right now in Chrome that, or I should say here in Atlas, it says ask ChatGPT. So I don't know if if I were to ask it like, are these people properly framed? Would it tell me? So, but I think, the other thing is like I was telling you guys in the SKOOL group, right? I was able to do everything in Comet, the three that I mainly use. So that may be, it kind of goes into that. Why do I have to use Chrome? Right.
Gotcha.
And I think sometimes we start to feel like Chrome is evasive and that it's gathering information and data for us. And I don't know, other than the permissions you're giving Atlas, and we'll say Comet more from a helping you search for things, that they're taking that data and giving it to others.
Give and take.
Right.
Give and take. Yeah. And I never really thought about that much until you were talking about that today with us. Great point. Great thing for us to think about with this. I'm glad we had this conversation today, because in the course of the hour here, it's like after discussing this with you all, hearing your thoughts, I definitely will download. I am on a Mac as of right now. The new ChatGPT Atlas is Mac only, is coming to Windows and mobile soon, they said. I'm definitely going to play around with it and see what, if because I use ChatGPT so much, I'm really thinking I'm really going to like it a lot because of that. So they'll definitely have given me a lot to think about. And I want to wrap up really quickly here since we're coming up to the top of the hour, because SKOOL, where we have our social media and AI shortcuts, where we continue our discussions. In addition to like this 1 hour we do, we're always chatting over there. And they have a brand new feature. They already have the live stream feature embedded inside. It's very much like a Zoom call where everybody's on screen. It's very cool. We've tested it with our group here. I use it twice a week in my other school for my Kratom community, and we use it as a support group, and everybody loves it. And brand new yesterday, Tuesday, they announced that they now have the webinar version, like a feature where you can have the one person, the speaker on screen, and everybody's just in watch and listen mode, very much like a Zoom webinar, which I think is great. I'm glad that they got that in place now. I haven't tried it yet, so I thought that for those of us that want to go give it a quick try, in a few minutes we'll move over to our school. And so for those that are already in our school, come join us if you want. We're just going to do a quick test, but we're going to give it a try. I want to see how it looks and how it acts, and try bringing y'all on screen one at a time, see how easy it is. But I'm excited about this new feature because I'm an idea person. I always get ideas, and I'm trying to think of like, what kind of things do I want to add to our school community? And some of y'all that stay on top of SKOOL and all the new features, what's coming is the subscription tier. It's very much like a Patreon. And I've been waiting very patiently for a long time for them to have this feature. And it's coming very soon, could be in the next few weeks, maybe, like sometime next month, most likely. And I want to have like a Madeline's Inner Circle. So we're in our school community, but it's like the inner circle in there for those subscribers, and and I have lots of ideas of things I want to do, but the one I want to play around with now that I'm just going to have in our regular free school community until we get the new subscription tier where I'll just have Madeline's Inner Circles available now, but and everybody can get an idea of like the kind of things we'll do. But the idea that I want to go ahead and set up a live webinar in there to play around with this idea is from watching a video that came out a few days ago from Dan Martell. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm just going to play just like a minute of this video because it's just a minute long, where the video is called "The Power of ChatGPT." 23 ways to use ChatGPT so well it feels like you're cheating. And to me, it's like he is sharing just like what the power of ChatGPT is, or fill in your blank of any AI LLM tool. And a lot of the items he goes through with these 23 items, a lot of them are just like, yeah, I know these things. But he gives examples of them, and he shows you in ways you might not have thought of. And it's given me lots of ideas. And I thought, what I would like to do is in our school community is have a group gathering where I host a webinar, although I might want to actually do it as a chat where it's more like just your regular Zoom where we're all on screen. Because what I want to do is like play some of these, I think everybody had to go at the top of the hour. I want to play like a few of the snippets of these because of his different 23 things where we play one, we talk about it, we all like the whole point is like to get ideas together, watch some educational content, we talk about it, get ideas, and then we implement. And so it's really just the kind of thing of like, it's one thing watching and learning, but if you don't do, you got to go do. That's like the next step. So, hey, Maria, good to see you. We're wrapping up, but I'm glad you're here in the chat. Normally she's on screen with us. We're going to go over to SKOOL in a minute and real quickly test the new webinar feature, live stream feature in there. But anyway, the thing I want to do in there is in my inner circle is something like this. So like, let me just play this just real quickly, this 1 minute intro in here where he shares like tip number 1.
These are 23 ways to use AI that you've probably never heard of, because most people are only using a fraction of AI's full potential. I've been in the AI trenches for the past 3 years running multiple AI companies, and I can tell you, most people are only scratching the surface of what's possible. And in this video, I'll show you 23 new ways that you can use AI to turn on easy mode in all aspects of your life. Number 1. Master prompts for your whole life. Essentially, we want to build a single life prompt, a collection of all your values, your goals, your weaknesses, your principles, your life, every detail. That way, every time you ask AI a question, it answers it through your lens. So here's how it works. You actually say to ChatGPT, help me create a master prompt for my life and ask me the questions to give you the context about my life. And it'll ask you the questions, you answer it and save it as a PDF. Now, anytime you ask AI or any other AI, upload the PDF before you ask your question so it has all the context. That's your master prompt. Number 2.
I love that. So, you know, I'm watching his 23 items. I'm going, I would love to get a group of us together. We just go through them one at a time. Like, that was an awesome one. And we talk about it, and then we work up our ways of implementing it. So now we have that for the future, which could be really very helpful. And like, I knew you can do that, but I've never done it the way he described it. Have either of y'all?
Yeah.
No.
Because it was interesting. But wouldn't it be
Yeah.
fun and easier if we did it as a group? Like, let's, you know, like, that was cool. Let's talk about, like, we're not gonna do it now, but like, we talk about it, get ideas from each other, and then, okay, this is something we each have to go implement. Whether we then have a little quiet time in the live stream and everybody go and do theirs, and then we come back and play a few, or that's on your to-do list, and before you know, you gotta implement that before you come back next week, and we'll do another one or another 2 or 3. Like, I'm an idea person. It was so I watched that video and I'm like, that would be cool to do some of those together as a group. And it will make us more accountable because then we'll go and do it.
Well, I'm gonna post in this school group. I just did something and it kind of was mind blowing. So I did a screenshot. So when the 3 of us were on screen, like vertical, I asked ChatGPT inside the StreamYard studio, how are the people framed on the video? And it gave me very detailed breakout and description. And so I'm going to share that in school as a post, and you guys will see what it looks like. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, ChatGPT it does continue to get better, and I absolutely love using it with the Edge browser, with it through Copilot, to just ride side saddle on everything I'm doing in my work online every day. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna resist the temptation because I want to get things done, and that's before the end of the year. I mean, it is. I hear that, you know, the lifetime clock is ticking. You know, how do you get things resolved? And I'm a baby boomer, and you know, baby boomers were collectors. I mean, we're the stuff people. You know, we have stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Even, you know, even the hard drives, you know, all the discs and that, we stored everything. When I do anything online, I'm screenshotting. I must have a trillion screenshots, you know, because I need to be reminded of that later. So this is the first time in my life when I really haven't bit off, you know, and said, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Because I have ways to do it now. It's just I don't have the energy for it. But I love what ChatGPT came up for me and exploring it. And I thought, that does it. You've saved a lot of time for me, because it did list the other competitors. And it did list where they're, and even said to me, you know, you guys could use a side-by-side comparison and put it out there for me on the different browsers. And all in a matter of minutes, not hours, just minutes, you know.
Very cool.
You know, so.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. I mean, this is just great.
Let's go test the.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, so skool.com/Madeline-Sklar. Hopefully, many of y'all watching are already in there. Come pop in real quick. We're gonna do a quick test. If you haven't been to our school, go check it out. It's free to join. On the School community is where we keep these discussions going throughout the week. Yeah, I always learn so much from y'all in there. But yeah, let's go try this. I'm curious to see, what it's like. I already like the regular live stream feature it has, but being able to do webinar style, something I'm very interested in implementing, and I just want to see how it works. So we're gonna go do that. We'll be back here next Thursday to talk about more cool social media and AI stuff. Interesting how it's becoming more and more AI, less of social media. I really feel like the AI stuff is just, there's so much of it to talk about. And I'm okay with
Thank
that. Are
you.
y'all okay with that? Because I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
That's
for
interesting
sure.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
AI is social because I
Yep.
mean, you were there. We're sitting there on screen, and you pulled
Yep.
up ChatGPT and started having a conversation with us. So it's convergence going on here. We're gonna see a lot of exciting things. I hope I get to stick around long enough.
I think you will be. All right. Well, we're going to shut down here, go move over to school and do a quick test. And for those that are not able to come join us over there, we'll see you back. Come pin your calendar. Come here next Thursday and we'll see you then. Y'all take care. Hope to see you hanging out with us in school.